All right, everybody, welcome in. This is your boy Retro Recap. Your boy Retro Recap in the house. And boy, oh boy, we have some shit to talk about today. Wavy Wild, thank you so much for being here, my dude. We've got some shit to talk about today. In the case of that football game yesterday, if you guys missed it, if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, you are not happy right now. If you're an Indianapolis Colts fan, you are happy right now, because you were the underdog coming into that game. You had no business winning that game, but you did. If you're a Ravens fan like me, who loves this team, been a lifelong Ravens fan, and you go back and look at the footage of that game, you're asking yourself, how the fuck did we lose this game? Yeah, I'm a little pissed off right now. I'm a little pissed. And just like Noam with the Lions last week, people saying it's an overreaction. No, when you're as good as you're supposed to be, you're not supposed to lose games like that. You're not supposed to lose games like that. So anyway, welcome to the Double R podcast. This is your boy Retro Recap. Today we're going to be talking about Ravens only. The Orioles are in good shape right now. There's no need to talk Orioles today. Orioles are 3 games away from 100 wins. We don't need to talk about them. They're getting ready for the playoffs, which I intend to go to one of those games. We're going to be talking about the Ravens against the Colts. Ravens lose 22-19 in the bank. Muggy day, rainy day, tropical storm Ophelia, or the remnants of Ophelia. It wasn't a good game yesterday. So let's go ahead. What's up, Noam? Let's start with the good. We're gonna talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's talk about the good. I actually want to talk about Kyle Hamilton first. Kyle Hamilton, 3 sacks. Did he have a 4th fumble? I don't know. Did he have a 4th fumble? I can't even remember if Kyle Hamilton had a 4th fumble. The man did his thing. He's a safety with 3 sacks. Like can you name me a guy? Can you name me the last guy that had 3 sacks from the safety position? I can't think of any. I can't think of any. He was wrecking havoc, especially in that first half. Mike McDonald dialed the blitz up for Kyle Hamilton. He said, look, you go attack. And I think that's one of Kyle Hamilton's best traits, is when you put him in the box area and make him as a linebacker, as a tackler, as a sacker, he can get after the quarterback. He can get after the quarterback. That's one of his traits. I think he's better in the box than he is in coverage. And I think he's pretty good in coverage too. Kyle Hamilton looked good. He looked explosive. He has speed, and as big and lengthy as he is, ain't nobody really gonna stop him when he's got a full motor. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people question Kyle Hamilton when he was drafted. The Ravens drafted him at 14. Like, y'all drafted Kyle Hamilton, but now you see why. The man is a beast. He's athletic. He's lengthy. He's just overall talented. The Ravens said, you know what? We're gonna dial you up. We're gonna dial you up. Let's look at the stats for Kyle Hamilton today. Kyle Hamilton, 9 tackles, 7 solo tackles, 3 sacks, and 2 tackles for a loss. So not only are you getting to the quarterback, you're stopping the run in the backfield, 2 tackles for loss. You're a safety. You're a freaking safety. And you're doing linebacker work, defensive lineman work. 3 quarterback hits. The man was wrecking havoc. I was already saying at halftime, he may get defensive player of the week off of just the first half. He was that good. Shout out to Dr. Brown's, by the way. Ginger ale, really good. Overall, overall, the defense as a whole didn't play that bad. You gave up 22 points. Majority of those points were field goals. I think the Colts kicker had like 4 field goals, all over 50 yards. Yeah, exactly, because they had 5 times 3 is 15, and then they had the 1 touchdown that over Patrick Queen's head. So the defense actually played solid. Like, they actually played pretty good. You gave up 22 points, and then you went into overtime. The Colts had like 2 possessions overtime, so 22 points for 5 quarters or 4.5 quarters ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it, like the defense gave the offense chances to win this game. Patrick Queen, as we saw in the graphic, Patrick Queen, 12 tackles. Roquan Smith, I feel like Roquan Smith is in every damn play. Roquan Smith, Brandon Stevens looked good this game. He looked good this game. A couple pass deflections against Pittman. And Pittman's a big guy. Michael Pittman's a big guy. He has length, he has size. I'm surprised the Colts didn't go to him every single play, because he literally is a matchup problem. You know what I'm saying? But I think overall the defense, considering the injuries, do I have to run down the list? Marcus Williams, Marlon Humphrey, Odafe Oweh wasn't even in this game. Am I missing anybody? I think Ajabo got hurt in the game. David Ajabo got hurt in the game. You don't have Tyus Bowser. Am I missing anybody? Who else is missing? I feel like the Ravens' whole defense is missing. Considering the fact that you have those injuries, even if it's against a backup quarterback, and that's not undermining what Gardner Minshew is. Gardner Minshew is literally if any team is looking for a good backup, he's probably the top backup quarterback on the market. Well, he's not on the market, he's on the Colts, but you get what I'm saying. He's a very dependable backup. When he was with the Jaguars, when he was with the Eagles, now with the Colts, he can fill in, starter or not backup. He can play the role. Then a couple years ago, he had like a couple 400-yard passing games. The man is pretty good. So it's not like, you know, they were going against nothing. Gardner Minshew was a serviceable quarterback. They gave up 22 points. They gave up 5 field goals. So, and the one play that they did get a touchdown, it was a nice throw over Patrick Queen's head, and Patrick Queen was literally like a couple inches away from deflecting the ball. And had he deflected the ball, that would not have been a touchdown. So the defense played well. They played well enough to win this game. Here's what my issue is. Well, before we get into the bad, the other positive note in this game was the offensive rushing. Let's look at the numbers here, because I mean, your leading rusher was Lamar Jackson. I don't know if y'all can see it real good, but Lamar Jackson had 14 carries. Now, granted, he is your best athlete on the field. He is your most talented piece on the field. But your quarterback probably shouldn't be having 14 rushing yards. Word around town, and I've been hearing this, even Shannon Sharp said it on First Take. Thank you, Tiffy. What's up, baby? And congrats on 1K followers on Twitch. People, Shannon Sharp on First Take was like, I don't see any difference between Greg Roman's offense and this offense. Now, if we're just looking at yesterday's game, Lamar Jackson with 14 carries looks like a Greg Roman offense. How many times in the Greg Roman era did Lamar Jackson run the ball 10 plus times a game? They were even talking about it in the broadcast. They were talking about, well, the game plan was not to have any predetermined runs from Lamar Jackson, run design plays. I couldn't tell. Lamar Jackson ran the ball on design runs. Out of the 14 carries that he had, he probably, at least 8 of them were design runs. And a lot of those were in the second half too. Now, he did have 100 yards, but I don't know if I want my quarterback getting hit that many times. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, I don't know if I want that. We know Lamar Jackson can run. and that's how you know they were running out of necessity, because Lamar Jackson should not have 14 carries. Gus Edwards is averaging 4 yards a carry. Get him the damn ball. I feel like I'm saying this too often. Get the people that know how to make plays the ball. Yes, Lamar Jackson can make plays, but you have weapons. Rashad Bateman, is he even playing? Rashad Bateman is too talented. Rashad Bateman is too talented to have 3 fucking targets. Rashad Bateman, 1 catch, 6 yards. Now I think he did get hurt in some part of the game. But Rashad Bateman, Lamar Jackson coming into the season said Rashad Bateman is our #1 receiver. Not OBJ, not Zay Flowers. Rashad Bateman is our #1 guy. He's our alpha receiver. Well, damn it, give him the damn ball. Give him the damn ball. Give him the damn ball. Because if he's your #1 receiver with 3 damn targets, and that's just yesterday. The first 2 games, I feel like Rashad Bateman is not even a part of the offense. Yeah, he has his moments where he catches the ball, but I don't feel like he's involved as he should. You know what I'm saying? People forget because Zay Flowers has been balling. Rashad Bateman is a very talented receiver. I feel like they're not getting him the ball enough. You know what I'm saying? And it's making me mad because I can make a case that he's probably the most talented receiver that they got. Because OBJ at this point, we really don't know what OBJ has left. Even in the games that he's played, he's had a couple catches, nice over the shoulder catch, a couple first down catches, but I haven't really seen peak OBJ yet because he's hurt, so we don't even know. Rashad Bateman is your alpha receiver. Zay Flowers is not designed to be an alpha receiver yet. He's a good slot guy for right now. He can create space. He's a good run after the catch. He's great. You need to give, I mean, look at this. Mark Andrews, 4 catches, 35 yards. You got Rashad Bateman. You got Zay Flowers out there. You got Nelson Aguilar. Yeah, they have catches. 4 catches for Andrews and Aguilar apiece. But look at the yardage. Look at the yardage total. Look at the average. 8.8 yards per catch. 9.8 yards per catch. Zay Flowers, 6 yards a catch. These are your playmakers. They should be somewhere in the 12, 13 range. There's a lot of short stuff. Where is this take the top off the defense offense that I was expecting? You got Bateman, you got Flowers, you got OBJ. And the tight ends are supposed to cover the middle of the field so that you can take the top off the defense with the receivers. Tight ends work through the middle, work the underneath over the crossing routes, and the receivers have enough speed and explosiveness to take the top off the defense. Other than OBJ and Zay Flowers last week, I haven't seen much deep throw. And the one to Aguilar, I haven't seen a lot of that. Like, I don't even see them attempting a lot of those throws. And then one of them, Lamar missed. Lamar missed one of them last week to Zay Flowers. You know what I'm saying? They have enough speed and explosiveness to get open. Now, I'm not going to bash Todd Monken because last week at Cincinnati, I like what I saw. And I'm not going to be one of those guys going to make excuses. Oh, it was raining outside, it was muggy. Well, the Colts had to play in the same damn conditions y'all did. Their kicker knocked 4 field goals over 50. Justin Tucker knocked a 50, but he missed a 61-yard field goal to win the game. You can't, I mean, I know Justin Tucker is great, but you can't expect him to knock 60 yards every single time. And if you look at the replay, the 60-yard field goal was dead down the middle. It was short. It was raining outside. If you know anything about how rain affects the football gets heavier when it rains. So when you kick the ball, because of the extra weight, the power of the kick is not going to go. It's not going to travel as far because the accuracy was there. That was a game winner. If you watch the replay, Justin Tucker nailed that bad boy. Justin Tucker, he nailed that bad boy, but it was short. But he's bailed us out so many times, and shout out to Burger Gnome, you know, 2 years ago in Ford Field, if that's what they still call it, Ford Field, knocked a 66-yard field goal to win the game against the Lions. We all know he's well more than capable of knocking 60 plus yards. So I'm not even gonna knock Justin Tucker because the accuracy was there. And we all know he has the leg power to knock 61. Matter of fact, he knocked a 60-yard field goal in Ford Field back in 2013 when Calvin Johnson and Stafford was still playing. So we know he has the leg. So I'm not even gonna get on Justin Tucker. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, rushing attack. Gus Edwards, we know, can rush the ball. We know Gus Edwards is a walking 4 yards at least. Melvin Gordon got some touches. He had a couple nice runs. They brought up Kenyon Drake from the practice squad, and we're gonna get into the fumbles in a second because I think that was really a big moment. But Lamar Jackson was your leading ball carrier at 14, Gus Edwards at 11. Why is your quarterback having more rushing attempts than your running back? And we all know Gus the Bus can carry the load. The Ravens refuse to give Gus Edwards 20 carries a game. I don't know. I just don't understand. In this Lamar Jackson era of offense, I feel like the running backs don't get their fair share of carries. When J.K. Dobbins was at his best, J.K. Dobbins can get you 5 yards a pop. Gus Edwards can give you 5 yards a pop. So I don't understand, and whether the Greg Roman offense or this time, why don't the running backs get 20 carries a game? I just don't get it. You rather run Lamar, and I get it. Lamar is dynamic, but Gus Edwards is going to give you 5 yards. I said it on the last week's podcast. One thing about Gus Edwards, when he runs the ball, you don't lose yards. You either get 1 yard or more every single run. So if I know that, why wouldn't I keep feeding the ball to a guy that can guarantee you 5 yards? And every once in a while, he's going to pop that big one, that 15, that 17-yard run. I don't get it. If you show a presence with the running back, it's going to open up the rest of the shit for the receivers. That's basic football, right? That's basic football, right? I said this in the first week. How do you stop this Ravens offense? The answer to that question is the Ravens stop their own selves. They really do. And that leads me to my next part. Let's talk about the bad. I'm gonna start with the offense. The offense stinks. First drive of the game, and I'm gonna get to your point in a second, Burger. First drive of the game, they take it right down the field, score. Lamar Jackson runs it in. All right, I'm like, all right, we off to a great start. You know what I'm saying? Receivers getting involved, Lamar carrying the ball. Okay, 7-0. This look like it's gonna be a 30-point game for us. You know what I'm saying? Second drive, we moving the ball. Kenyon on the third play of the game. Kenyon Drake, he gets this nice pass from Lamar Jackson, and he's taking it, he's moving it. And then what happens? He fumbles the ball. So he took it all the way down to the red zone and he fumbled the ball. And I'm like, holy shit. And I felt bad for him because you just came back from the practice squad. You were with the Ravens last year. They didn't maintain you. They brought you back. And your very first touch, you fumbled the ball. And I was like, well, damn. It was a 24-yard reception. And then right at the end of that, you fumbled it. You gave it back to the Colts. And I'm like, fuck. I should be seeing Bateman being used in the slot, tight end routes, out of the backfield, even deep routes. Exactly. Bateman is not a one-trick pony. He's not a guy that can only go deep. His route running ability is good. His run after the catch is good. You know what I'm saying? He should be running crossing routes. Every once in a while, he can take the top off a defense. He can do that. There's college tape on Rashad Bateman doing that. Shit, there's NFL tape. The Jets game last year, week 1, he took the top off the defense. Lamar unleashed that ball, got to Rashad Bateman. We know he can get open. I don't know why Rashad Bateman doesn't have that his main target as I think he should. I personally think he's the best receiver on the team, and I think Zay Flowers is on the rise to be there. But as of right now, I think that Rashad Bateman is the best receiver on the team. What's up, Pizza Man? What's goody? What's up, man? How you feeling? Yeah, we got Browns next week. It's gonna be a good game. We gotta go to Cleveland. The way this offense looked, we're probably gonna lose that game. We're probably gonna lose that game if the offense don't look. I think OBJ was missed in this game. I think OBJ was missed in this game because his presence alone, even though OBJ wasn't getting a lot of receptions, OBJ was drawing flags, and that's what you want. If you're not going, and that's one thing that we missed yesterday was drawing flags, and I'll get into that in a second on that very last Ravens possession where Zay Flowers was clearly held before the ball got there on 4th down. They didn't call a flag for that. The referees were terrible. The referees were terrible, and I'm not a homer here because I think the refereeing was bad on both sides. The Pittman catch, he got face mask. They didn't call it on the Ravens. I forgot who tackled him. Who generated the face mask on Hamilton? I mean on Pittman. The Zay Flowers no call. Like they had some moments too, but nonetheless, on paper, even with the injuries, the Ravens were a more talented team than the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, he's battling injury, but he came back. So my expectation is, my understanding is, if he missed week 1 and he played week 2 and he played week 3, I was assuming that he was good to go. Otherwise, you don't put him out there. Isaiah Likely is a more than capable backup tight end to handle Mark Andrews' duties. So if Mark Andrews is not healthy, don't put him out there. So I'm assuming that if he's out there, then he's good to go. So that's the way I look at it. The fumbles. Lamar Jackson, I don't even have the stat in front of me. Lamar Jackson has fumbled the ball at least how many times? Lamar Jackson fumbled twice yesterday, right? Lamar Jackson fumbled twice yesterday. He had a fumble in the Houston game. He might have had 2 fumbles in that game. I do not remember. I don't think he had any fumbles last week. Lamar Jackson has fumbled the ball at least 5 times so far this season. 4 or 5 times. Now, not all of them have been lost, but what a fumble does, whether you recover it or not recover it, that's a wasted play. If the other team gets it, that's the worst case scenario if the other team gets the ball. But just you fumbling the ball is a wasted play, because what could have been had you not fumbled the ball? We don't know, because you know what I'm saying? So whether it's recovered or not, a fumble is a wasted play, and we've been having too many of that. Kenyon Drake, we had 4 fumbles yesterday. 2 by Lamar Jackson. Matter of fact, y'all can look at it for y'all damn self. 2 from Lamar Jackson, 1 from Kenyon Drake, 1 from the center Sam Mustipher. 4 fumbles. We lost 2 of them. That's 2 possessions. Like, there was a stat in this game that the broadcaster brought up. The Ravens did not attempt a pass in the second quarter at all. Not one. They had like 3 possessions. They didn't attempt a pass in the second quarter at all. Not even one. Now technically they were going to attempt a pass in the second quarter, but it was a fumble. So they don't, you can't count a pass. You can't count a passing attempt if it was a fumble. It was a passing play, and then the ball got stripped. They didn't attempt a pass in the second at all. You can't win games like that. You can't win games when you don't even let off 1 passing attempt in the second quarter. 4 fumbles, 2 lost. You cannot win football games. I mean, this is obvious. I'm not stating any breaking news here, but you can't win football games when you constantly turn the ball over. I don't care how bad the opponent is or how much of lesser talent that team has. If you turn the ball over, you're giving anybody an opportunity to win. If we had played the Miami Dolphins yesterday with this stat sheet, they might have put 70 points on us yesterday. If we had did this. Our offense does not look fluid right now, and 2 home games against the Texans and against the Colts, two AFC South teams that should have been a guaranteed win on our schedule. I was like, all right, the only AFC South team that we may lose to this year would be the Jaguars. I did not expect to lose to the Colts or Texans at home. Nada. I was very shocked about that. Take a deep breath here. I get mad when the Ravens lose games like this. Yeah. If we played like this, they would put 70 points on us yesterday because we were just giving the ball away. Tyreek Hill would have went crazy on us yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So you guys see for yourself. We turned the ball over a lot. Now Lamar Jackson didn't throw an interception, thankfully. 22 of 31, 202. He didn't turn the ball over. But look at this. This is big right here. A 6.5 yards per attempt. What does that tell me? You're not even attempting to throw the ball deep. You're not even trying to go for the deep ball. You're not even throwing for first downs on attempts. Everything is short underneath. He got sacked 4 times, 2 fumbles. On top of the fact, you're not even throwing the ball deep. What is going on here? You have the receivers to do so. The excuse back then was he don't have nobody to throw the ball to. You got people to throw the ball to. Throw them the damn ball and throw it deep. What does that do? If you at least make attempts to throw the ball deep, it makes the defense have to adjust how they align. They may have to play 2 safeties deep, a 2 high shell. But if you ain't throwing the ball deep, what is there to respect? What is there to respect? You're not even trying to throw the ball downfield. Now, granted, before I go further, the offensive line did not look good yesterday. So there may have been times where they were trying to go deep, and the offensive line did not allow Lamar Jackson to throw the ball deep because the offensive line did not look good. So maybe there were attempts for the play to go deep, and Lamar Jackson only had like 1 or 2 seconds to get rid of the ball, so you couldn't get it deep. And that's possible because the offensive line didn't play good yesterday, evident by the sacks. Now, some people were saying, well, sometimes Lamar Jackson holds onto the ball too long, and sometimes that's true. I gave credit to the offensive line last week because they did play good against Cincinnati, but the Colts got a better front 7 than the Bengals do. DeForest Buckner was having a day. Buckner was having a day, and our offensive line just couldn't do anything. What up, Juice? I'm pissed off right now. Because we should be 3-0. And then and honestly, I think we could, if we play like we're supposed to, we could beat the Browns. We could be 4-0. Now what happens? We're now 2-1. We lost to an Indianapolis Colts team at home that we shouldn't have lost to. We only scored 19 points. I can't remember the last time the Ravens scored over 30 points in a game. It's been since the 2021 season. The last time the Ravens scored over 30 points in a game. With this kind of offense that we have, we should be scoring at least 25 points a game. At least 19 points is unacceptable. And like I said earlier, I don't want to hear the excuse that the weather was bad. The Colts had to play in the damn shit too. 6 yards per attempt is not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. I don't care how you frame it. 6 yards per attempt is not it. Lamar Jackson averaged more yards rushing the ball than he did throwing the ball. 7.2 versus 6.5. Make sure y'all like the video if y'all can, please. I'm pissed off. I'm sorry. I'm pissed off right now. And of course, this is just looking at the numbers. If you actually watch the game, like Zay Flowers 8 catches, it looks good. but 8 catches for 48 yards. If a person has 8 catches, they should be somewhere close to 100 yards receiving. 48 yards. And I get it. A couple weeks ago, I said, you have playmakers. Get them the damn ball. Yes, Zay Flowers is getting the ball, 10 targets. But damn it, you ain't going nowhere with the ball if you're only going 6 yards per attempt, per catch. I give you a shout out. Kudos to you, Monken, for getting Zay the ball. But damn it, 48 yards on 8 catches is not going to cut it. Zay Flowers is better than that, and that's not a Zay Flowers issue right there. That's a Monken issue. 10 targets. Your longest one was 8 yards. Your longest catch was 8 yards. As explosive as Zay Flowers is, 8 yards. He's supposed to be the explosive guy. Special teams, let's talk about special teams real fast. I think I mentioned it already. Justin Tucker, he knocked in a 50-yard field goal in the fourth quarter that gave him a 17-16 lead. And then I'm trying to think what else happened. Then Justin Tucker, he missed that field goal at the end, that 61-yard field goal. He missed that. Devin Duvernay had a nice return in, was it in overtime? I think it was in overtime. Devin Duvernay had a nice return overtime. Guys in good field position. I was like, yes, we about to win this game, because at that point, if the Ravens scored a field goal, they win the game in overtime. So I was like, Devin Duvernay returned the ball. I was like, yes, we're looking good. We're being set up very nicely here. Very nicely here. Devin Duvernay looked good. And it was a 31-yard run. I guess we can look at it right now. Devin Duvernay had a 31-yard punt return, and that was what put us in good position to win the game. And what happened? The offense couldn't do anything. That's what's so frustrating. There was so many opportunities to win this game. So many opportunities. It's like the Ravens were gifted opportunities to win this game. They didn't capitalize. Special teams play. Okay, so let me go back to the fourth quarter real fast. The score is 17-16. The quarterback, I'm forgetting the guy's name. Gardner Minshew. We got a nice special teams play when Jordan Stout punted the ball, and the Colts guy, he fair catched it, but he let it bounce. It got to like the 1 or 2 yard line. I'm like, yes. We got them backed up. Gardner Minshew, what happens? He steps out of bounds. We get a safety. He pulled a Dan Orlovsky there. He was trying to throw the ball, and he stepped out of bounds. Gave the Ravens 2 points. It was like 2 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the game. Everybody, if you watch the game, you already know what I'm about to go with this. So it's 2 minutes on the clock. The Colts have 1 timeout left. It was like 2:05, 2:03, something like that. Something like that. They do the free kick. Zay Flowers, for some reason, he fair catches the ball with 2:03 left to go. If you just receive the ball and you run around for 3 or 4 seconds, you get the 2-minute warning. The Colts have 1 timeout left. The Ravens have possession of the ball. So realistically, you could run the clock out and end the game at that point, because the Ravens have 3 downs. The Colts have 1 timeout. The play clock is 40 seconds per play. So Ravens run the ball. You can take off 80 seconds. So 2 minutes to go is 100. I'm sorry, 2 minutes is 120 seconds. So you can take off at least 80 seconds off the clock just by receiving the ball and running around to get to the 2-minute warning. What did you do? You fair catch the ball. You have to run a play now. You ran the play, didn't get anything with it. That took us down to the 2-minute warning. So now you just gave the Colts a free timeout. The next 2 plays, you do nothing with the ball. The Colts call a timeout. I think the announcer said the Ravens literally took off like 20 seconds off the clock, 25 seconds off the clock, something like that. You gave the Colts all this time to kick the game-winning field goal. Like, it was, the special teams was very bad right there. Zay Flowers at least should have ran the ball around 4 times for 4 seconds to get the clock to the 2-minute warning. You gave the Colts a free time out there. And so what did the Colts do? They took advantage of it. They allowed the Colts to with all that time to go down and get in field goal range. And that kicker, Ryan Gay, Matt Gay, whatever, I don't want to disrespect your name, but you had enough time to give him to kick the field goal. All his field goals were over 50 yards. City John, what's up, baby? Bad clock, bad special team awareness, bad clock management, bad everything right there. Special teams was hit and miss. I think more miss than hit. You know what I'm saying? It just was a bad look. All right, let me get to these referees real fast before we get out of here. Referees, a lot of bad calls in this game. Obviously, the one to Zay Flowers on 4th down when the Ravens it was 4th and 3. The Ravens went for it. Lamar, I don't know if it was a slant pattern. I don't know what the pattern was, but Zay Flowers cuts across the middle of the field. The defender is grabbing Zay Flowers before the ball even got to him. Zay Flowers had no chance at the ball because the defender basically grabbed him to prevent. It was obvious. And before they even showed the replay, I was like, that's a flag. Everybody is looking for a flag, no flag thrown. They showed the replay and there was no flag. And I'm like, okay, we're in overtime. Isn't everything reviewed in overtime by the refs? Y'all didn't even decide, y'all didn't even take a look at it. Y'all didn't even take a look at the play. It was so obvious that it didn't even need a replay. So you didn't call it on the field. The people at home on TV and at the game on the Jumbotron saw it, but yet no call. And so what happens? The Colts, you gave the Colts good field position, and they kicked the game winner. And that's what happens. That's exactly what happened, and we lose the game. And so now you see why I'm pissed. The Ravens, it was self-inflicted wounds, and the referees also gave the game away with that penalty. Like I said, there was penalties that were not called or called that were wrong on both sides. So I'm not going to make excuses, but that was so clearly obvious. It was a flag. And I wish, if it wasn't for copyright reasons, I wish I could show you the play. Go watch highlights of the game and look at that Zay Flowers play on 4th down. The man was literally grabbed before the ball got to him. Absolutely ridiculous how that play was not called. Absolutely ridiculous that play was not called. Ridiculous. I'm pissed off right now. The Ravens are 2-1. We're going to Cleveland next week in the dog pound against Deshaun Watson. They don't have Nick Chubb, but they got Kareem Hunt. They got Amari Cooper. They whipped Tennessee's ass yesterday. And honestly, the Browns defense has been looking pretty good. Minus that Steelers game, they gave up 3 points to the Bengals. They gave up 3 points to the Titans. Their defense has been looking good. And if the Ravens play like this, the Ravens are going to end up on that team that the Cleveland Browns look good against. In 3 games, I would say the defense has looked pretty good. And ironically, I thought it would be the offense that would be the side of the ball that stood out. The defense has looked good in 3 games so far. The Cincinnati scored 24 points, but you got to remember, one of those was on a punt return. So they gave up 17 points on defense to the Bengals. They gave up 22 points to the Colts, 5 field goals, and you gave up 9 points to the Texans, who put a ass whooping on the Jaguars yesterday. The defense has been playing good. The offense has been. Week 1, they didn't look that good. Week 2, they looked pretty good. Week 3, they look like trash. So I don't know what we're going to get from the offense. I don't know. I do not know what we're going to get next week. I do know historically, they usually play pretty good against the Browns in the Lamar Jackson era. But we got to see. Anyway, I'm done ranting. Don't go nowhere. We're going to be starting a Pac-Man stream within the next 20 minutes. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and reset my overlay. We're going to start Pac-Man in about 20 minutes. I'm done ranting. Ravens are 2-1. You lost to the Indianapolis Colts. You're off to Cleveland. and we'll see what happens there. And you could either be 2-2 or 3-1. Right after that, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers. So y'all better get y'all shit together, or we could be looking at 2-3 real fast, because you know how division games are. Division games, throw the records out the window, especially in the AFC North. When you're playing a divisional game, records do not matter. Any given team can beat you on any given night. So they better get together. And if I'm not mistaken, that Steelers game is on the road as well. So they better get together. Cleveland defense been looking pretty good. Steelers is always a tough matchup. This could be 2-3 real fast. So they better get their shit together. And this is coming from a Raven fan that loves his team. I was saying on paper, how do you stop this offense? Well, we see the blueprint. This offense has not looked all that good. In 3 weeks, there's only one game that they look good in, and that was Cincinnati. So hopefully against a better team, they play up to it, because Houston is not a good team, and they didn't look all the best, but it was week 1. The Colts on paper didn't look like a great team. You didn't have your starting quarterback. This should have been a win. It didn't play good. But against a supposedly good team in the Bengals, they played pretty good. So hopefully against Cleveland, with them being a good team, a solid team, that they play good. We shall see. Anyway, this is your boy Retro Recap. I'm done for the night. I'm done ranting. I'll see you on Pac-Man. Double R Podcast. Your boy Retro. I'm out.